Hey, and welcome back. Thank you so much for being here with me. Today I'm actually going to do a little bit of a different kind of a video. It's not going to be an oil-based video. It's actually going to be a face mask video. And I'm going to show you, I've actually made several, like just your normal masks. Now, of course, with everything going on in the media, I'm sure you've all, unless you've been living under a rock, which is entirely possible, no judgment. But for most of us that live in the world of today, and so they're just kind of, you know, your basic mask. But, you know, with everything that's going on in the media and everything, we are all very well acquainted with the fact that masks are hard to come by. And so lots of people are making masks. And I've made several for family and friends, that sort of thing. So today I'm actually going to show you how I make them, and it's pretty standard. I think the only thing that makes my masks unique is that instead of using elastic or hair ties or shoelaces or fabric like the basting ribbons is, hang on one second, the dog just dropped the hot glue gun, because heaven forbid should I not have an animal under my feet at all times. Okay, so where was I? Oh, so I think that what makes mine really unique is that, and I haven't seen this in any of the other videos, I don't know if it's just because people haven't considered it, but, did I say basting? I meant bias tape. It's been one of those days. But so, as I'm using Pantyhose, actually these are from knee highs, and I just cut them down, I cut them into strips, and that's what I'm using. And I've actually found that it's actually very, very comfortable behind the ears, especially if you wear glasses, because it doesn't feel bulky, it's not scratchy, and it doesn't pull my hair. And I have lots of hair, and that's one of the things that annoys me the most, because I even get hair like, you know, like the little earpiece of your glasses. So I hate that. And so that being said, I'm going to go ahead and, sorry if you can hear the dogs in the background, that's because we decided that right now is a good time to wrestle, because, yeah, honestly, it's real life, y'all. It's real life. The struggle, yeah, the struggle. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I will show you kind of a step-by-step. I'm going to actually probably not record it and then try to fast forward through it. I'm just not that skilled at this whole video making thing, and I wanted to make it kind of quick and not take all day, so we'll just kind of see how it goes. All right, so I'll see you back a little bit. Thanks so much, and talk to you soon. Okay, so here's the fabric that I have chosen for this particular mask. It's obviously Star Wars, and so you're just going to put your right sides together. And then what I do, because I don't know, I'm easily distracted, and I find that it works out so much easier for me if I just mark sewing lines on them. And so I have a line up here, you might be able to see, and then here, and then I was putting lines on the sides too, but actually, once you see it sewn, you'll understand why this part doesn't really, you don't have to do the sides, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I will be back in a second. Okay, so as you can see, I just did the bottom here, and this is actually the very first thing that I do. So, because what I'm going to do is I actually will now press this open. So this is what's going to leave the opening for the filter to go in. So that's where the filter will go. So I'll press this flat, and then I actually sew it, so that if it is washed, or when it's washed, the opening will stay straight like it's supposed to. So I will show you that when I get that part done. Okay, so right here you can see I actually have it ironed open this way, and then what I'm going to do is put it back on the machine, and then I just stitch across here on both sides, and that way it just makes sure that every time it gets washed, that opening will stay open, and you don't end up with like weird frayed edges anywhere. If you have a serger, you can actually just serge the ends. I have pinking shears, you can do that too if you want. these are just, you know, basic masks, and they're just to kind of keep you from, like I said, from touching your face and stuff. So they're not really meant to be anything medical in any way. So I'm kind of, you know, it's a simple mask. So, all right, give me just a moment and I will be back with you. Okay, so now as you can see, this is stitched open here. And that just makes it easier, like I said. So after it's washed, everything stays open like it should. I will press it again and make sure that everything lines up. And then once I get this part pressed, then I will actually do the top seam here, and then I'll get ready to put in my nose piece. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but right there I've actually marked the center piece of where the nose part's going to go, the nose piece. And then this is just it's a half of a piece of pipe cleaner, a half of a length, and I just kind of bend in like little pokey bits of the wire after I cut it in half, and then I just fold that in half, and it makes for a comfy nose piece there. And then let's get the glue done. Okay. Oops. Of course, I'm just going to kind of go ahead and glue across. And I just kind of lay it, you know, slightly above it, and then I just kind of go through and I get as much as I think I'm going to need. Across like so. And this is like super messy. But anyway, so you get the point. So you just kind of glue your nose piece on and kind of adjust it down just a little bit. It's usually a bit neater than this, but I'm also not usually trying to do this with one hand. Okay, so then once you've got that all done, then you're going to flip it right side out. Okay, so here it is after it's been flipped right side out, and then I did press the top and the bottom again really well. I use my iron like throughout the entire process, like the whole time, because it really helps a huge deal. I have like thread everywhere. But anyway, so some people will go ahead and they'll just like do a top stitch over this whole thing, or they'll go over that. I don't bother. It doesn't really matter, and it's not going to make a huge difference. So then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start making my creases, and then I pin them, and then I do the side pieces. So once I get this folded to where I need it to be, and it's roughly about 3 inches. This is roughly about 3 inches from here to here. And then I put my side pieces on, and then after that, that's when I go ahead and put my pantyhose through there. So 1 second and I'll be back. Okay, so this is what it looks like once I get it all folded. And then these are my side binding strips that also become the openings to put whatever material you plan to use, whether it's shoelace, bias tape, or elastic, or if you're going to use hair ties, you can actually do this next part here, which is where I just take, so it's right sides together, I'm going to pin this down, and then I tuck it underneath, and then I'm actually going to sew straight across, and then flip it over. But the next step after this one, I'll show you, you can actually use a hair tie without having to cut the hair tie. And so give me just 1 second and I will get this 1/2 done for you, and then I will show you. Okay, so once you get it all pinned, ow, and I stab myself routinely. Once it's all pinned on there like this, and then make sure you go around the edge. It'll make sense when you see this on this side where I've already got it done. So you're going to pull it, and then see, now it's nicely edged there, right? And then you're going to pull this side over, And again, your iron is like your best friend. So you're going to actually kind of fold over the edge here and then fold it over again. And so when you're done, it'll look like this on both sides. You'll have nice clean edges on both sides, but it leaves a tube or a hole or whatever you want to call it right there. Now, if you're going to use a hair tie, you're going to want to put your hair tie on now. I know I've seen videos where they clip the hair tie. I don't know how that works because my knotting skills aren't that great. But you can just leave the hair tie whole. You would just put your hair tie on here now and then just wrap this around it and then sew straight across. And then that should take care of that pretty easily and still give you a really nice edge. And then give me 1 second and then I'll be right back with the last little bit here, and then I'll show you how I put on the stockings. Okay, so as you can see, it's been folded over and pressed, and then I'm just going to stitch on both sides right here, and then yeah, so I'll be back again. Okay, so as you can see, I just have a strip of the knee-high stockings, whatever. And then you're actually going to feed it through what's now the casing for the mask. Now this, the only thing is that because I make it very small, it's kind of hard to get in there. So I actually use a crochet hook to help me feed the safety pin through the little slot. So, I don't know if I can get this to hold it still or not so you guys can see it, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if I can get this to go where you guys can see it. Life without a tripod, the struggle. Okay, so just kind of feed it through. And then I go in the opposite end with the crochet hook, and I just kind of pull on it, and voila! And it kind of comes. Tie a knot, square knot, a couple of granny knots, whatever. And then I just trim off the excess, and then I will gently tug on it here to kind of push the knot inside a little bit, kind of hide the knot. And then if you need to, you can just kind of push it in also with the crochet hook, and there you go. That's one side done. And then just do the same thing with the other side. And you can use, anything that you have at home. You can buy the pantyhose or the knee highs like I did, or you can just opt to not even do that. And instead, if you have shoelaces, or if you have even strips of fabric, I would think could be made to work. Get creative. It's for you and your family to keep you guys a little bit safer, make you feel a little more secure when you have to go out. Now, of course, obviously the best option is to stay home and not be out and about. But if you have to work like I do from home every other week, or you have to go out to get groceries, whatever it happens to be, I mean, life still is going to happen. So if you have to be out and about, it's always better to do what you can to protect yourself, protect your family. And I think a little mask like this is definitely, it's something that's completely doable. So, all right, well, thank you so much for joining me, and you guys have a wonderful day, and talk to you later. Bye.